A place where there is chance of falling, flooding, toxic fumes, oxygen deficient atmosphere, explosions, collapse, burying people, and lastly, even with a single nasty mechanical hit, someone can cause, someone can damage any of the underground utility that may be ultimately lead to power failure, water supply cutoff, or the telecommunication blackout. I hope you can understand what it might be. Yes, you do. I'm talking about excavation, digging, trenching, or tunneling. Different names, but the same activity that disturbs the ground. Excavation. Dear friends and fellows, today I'm categorizing this activity in three parts or in three stages. Number one, design stage. Number two, planning just before starting the excavation. And number three, during the excavation process or the activity. Hello and welcome. I'm Javed and you are watching Safety First. If you are new on this channel, kindly subscribe Safety First. Press the bell icon for new notifications. And if you find the video informative, then like, comment, and share with your friends. Dear friends and fellows, knowledge of the ground and local constants, adjacent buildings must be available in order to determine the method of excavation and the need for support. In addition, in the case of trench work in particular, what has to go into the trench or excavation will be important. The handling of such items may well affect the form of support that can be used. In the design stage, you have to remember the following questions. Without the answer of these questions, design stage shall never be complete. Number one, what are the soil types and groundwater conditions? Number two, is there any knowledge of work carried out previously in the area? Number three, is the excavation adjacent to existing structures or roads? Number four, are there any obstructions to the line of the excavation? For example, public utility cables, sewer lines, overhead cables, or limited clearance on the line of excavation, which may restrict choice of excavating equipment. Number five, has the condition of the adjacent buildings, roads, etc. been recorded by the client or his representative? For example, is there any visible crack? Number six, is there any risk of surface flooding while the work is being carried out? Is flooding from surfaces possible? Is the excavation within the site boundary or special precautions necessary to protect the public? Number eight, if the excavation is a trench, what are the maximum depths to be supported and what size and length of pipes have to be handled? Can pipes be tested in short lengths or does the specification require testing manhole to manhole? Number nine, in the case of wide excavations, what will be the implication of the support system to the permanent work and vice versa? Number 10, what surcharge loads are likely to arise? Number 11, will the method involve vibration? Will it affect the stability of the excavation and our adjacent buildings? Dear friends and fellows, when answer of these questions shall be obtained, you need to ask if the ground is saturated, are the conditions suitable for a dewatering system to be used? If so, Can battering be adopted without endangering adjoining property? Is the ground of the type that may boil when excavation is commenced? How long will the excavation be open? Where surface water may be a problem? Can an adequate runoff system be achieved by any cut-off drains or ditches that may be needed? What action is needed to support and safeguard services which cross or adjacent to the excavation? How will this relate to the support system envisaged? Is the position of the works likely to lead to surface water pollution? Is the dewatering method likely to lead to a possible pollution threat to groundwater or any aquifer? If so, advice must be sought from an environmental consultant or the environmental agency. When all these questions have been answered, a decision can be made as to the use of buttering, proceeding with the standard solutions, or whether the support system will need to be designed. You have to think in this way in the design stage if you are interested to keep your excavation safe and accident free. Dear friends and fellows, let us discuss now what you have to plan just before starting excavation. Number one is the person directly supervising the work, fully experienced and competent in the support of excavations. Number two, have all services been located and approved as to position? Number three, are the necessary drawings or sketches where standard solutions are to be used available? Have the operatives been properly briefed and instructed as to what is required of them? Number four, are all materials necessary available on site and in accordance with the drawings and approved sketches? Number five, has the excavator to be used a certificate of exemption for lifting material in connection with the excavation, and is a copy available on site? Number six, what arrangements need to be made in relation to site security, particularly in relation to stopping children getting onto the site? Number seven, is there adequate working space for plant to be used? In addition to the requirements for spoil heaps should not be less than 1 meter from the edge of the excavation. Number eight, is material for barriers available and we are working on the highway approved traffic signs? Number nine, will bridges or gangways be needed? If so, is the equipment available? Number 10, are sufficient ladders on hand? Are sufficient ladders on hand for access to and from the excavation? Number 11, will lighting be required? Number 12, is appropriate protective clothing and equipment available? Number 13, are operatives experienced in the type of excavation? Or will extra supervision be needed? Number 14, are water pollution prevention measures in place? Number 15, is the site in a high risk area due to the presence of explosives or similar type of governmental sensitive areas like under the use of defense forces? And number 16, are emergency procedure plans in place for use in the event of the discovery of any unexpected hazardous situation, because such explosions are similar nature of sudden leak that can create a potential threat to occupants and the environment. You have to get the answers of all these questions just before starting the excavation work. Most of the time, site management and supervisory staff, they instruct the foreman to go on the location and start excavation activity. Where is the material? Where are the arrangements? They are giving only one drawing, and this practice is illegal. This practice is unsafe. This practice usually causes accidents. Even the supervisor or the foreman who is at site is experienced. But even how much is the experience? Supervisor I cannot scan the underground utilities. This needs special tools and expertise. Dear friends and fellows, you are watching Safety First. Today we are discussing about excavation in three parts: in the design stage, in the planning stage, and now I'm going to discuss the execution stage. Once we are starting the excavation, what we have to consider during the excavation process is access to and egress from the workplace sufficient and secure? Are all working faces secure, wedges tight, and support material free from damage? Is there any sign of movement or deflection in the support system? Is the soil condition as predicted? If not, what actions should be taken? Are spoil heaps the correct distance back from the trench edge? Are pipes, bricks, and other materials, for example, plants, are well clear of the edge so that there is no risk of falling into the trench or of vibration causing damage to the support? Are the drawings, sketches being properly followed in installing the support system? This is particularly important in relation to the spacing of railings and struts. Our railings and struts are proprietary equipment supported against falling downward by hangers, lip locks, etc. Is there any risk of gases or noxious fumes getting into the working? Are regular tests for gases or fumes being carried out? This is particularly important in shafts and tunnels. Is ventilation required and available? Has any risk of flooding been properly assessed? Is resuscitation equipment available and a nominated person trained to use it? Have all persons been instructed in evacuation procedure and the correct rescue procedure to follow if someone is overcome by gases or fumes in the trench? Have all support materials been checked before installation in the excavation? In particular, are the correct pins provided in the trench studs? Is the work adequately protected and marked during the day? Is the excavated area fenced or covered and lit at night? Are watchmen needed? If yes, the watchmen assigned and available? Are operatives wearing safety helmets? Is any other protective equipment needed in shafts and tunnels? In particular, adequate lighting provided? Is the temporary lighting system safe? Do gangways or bridges comply with the requirements of the construction regulations in relation to the provision of safe movement for pedestrians and vehicles and the prevention of falls? Have access bridges for plant and vehicles crossing the excavation been designed by a competent person? Where backfilling is required, are stop blocks in position? Is there any agreed system of support withdrawal, and have those carrying it out been properly instructed and trained? Where pumping is necessary, is a proper watch being kept to make sure that fine material is not being drawn out from behind the support system? Is the water from a pumping process being dumped out onto grassland, or if it is being pumped into a watercourse, aquifer, or drain, is there an environment agency consent in place, and are the conditions being complied with? Dear friends and fellows, you have to consider all these points from day one once you start the excavation till backfilling and reinstatement. If you will think gently, you will get enough information how excavation can be dangerous, how you can protect the excavation, how you can protect the underground services, how you can protect the environment, how you can protect your own workforce, and how you can protect the general public adjacent to your workplace or adjacent to your excavated area. Maybe it's a tunnel or maybe it's a deep pit. Dear friends and fellows, let us discuss the points. Those are applicable for all excavations. Point number one, nature of the soil and moisture conditions. Point number two, measures taken to check for toxic contaminants in the ground. Point number three, dimensions of the excavation. Point number four, method of excavation. Point number five, proximity of services or structures. Point number six, duration of work. Point number seven, details of the precautions to be taken to prevent collapse of the sides of the excavation. For example, buttering or support. If support is proposed, this should include details of the system to be used. Point number eight, details of access and egress to and from the bottom of the excavation, plus any crossings over the excavation, details of any fencing around the open excavation. Point number nine, details of plant and equipment to be used, together with the confirmation that all necessary records will be provided on site. Point number 10, method of storing and dispensing fuel oil, including precautions to prevent pollution of groundwater. Point number 11, quantity of petrol to be stored on site and the method of storage. And point number 12, if any roadworks are involved, permits from the Department of Transport, approval and clearance from the police department, along with the traffic management plan or any alternate plan such as road diversions as per the local and international road and transport regulations shall need to be obtained and maintained throughout the excavation process. And that's all for now. Training session is over. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, and share the video. Hope to see you soon with a new HSC tutorial. Till then, take care. Good luck and Allah Hafiz.